Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into an explainer that really gets at the heart of where the future of innovation is heading. We're looking at the brand new 2026 US News Top 10 Best Engineering Schools. But hey, we're not just going to sit here and read off a list. No way. We're going to dig into the hidden forces, the raw data, and those massive industry shifts that are actually driving these highly anticipated rankings. So think about this for a second. What actually makes an engineering school truly the best in 2026? Because the whole concept of prestige, it's shifting pretty dramatically right now. It's not just about, ivy-covered walls anymore. Today, it's real-world tech booms, artificial intelligence, and some incredibly urgent industry demands that are actively rewriting what it means to be a top-tier engineering institution. Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the 2026 Top 10. 2, how rankings are built. 3, the unshakable top 3. 4, the rise of publics. And finally, 5, trends shaping the future. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the 2026 top 10.
Okay, here it is, the official 2026 top 10 list. Now really take a look at the incredible mix we've got here. At the very top, you've got MIT, Stanford, and UC Berkeley holding the line. But look a little closer at that public versus private divide. 7 out of these 10 institutions are public universities. You've got Georgia Tech and Purdue tying for an absolutely incredible number 4 spot overall. We're literally looking at a board completely dominated by public institutions that are seriously challenging the traditional private elites.
So you're probably wondering, how exactly did these specific schools secure their spots? Let's get into section 2, how rankings are built. The US News methodology is honestly incredibly dense. It pulls in data from over 190 accredited programs, but it basically relies heavily on 3 core pillars. First up, peer and corporate recruiter assessments, meaning what do the people who actually hire engineers think of the graduates? Second is research productivity and expenditure. And third, faculty reputation and doctoral program selectivity. It's super important to understand here that this ranking isn't just measuring how good the undergraduate teaching is. Actually, the real key takeaway here is this quote. It's an index of academic influence and engineering reputation. The institutions that score the highest, they're the ones with the massive research funding, the brilliant faculty, and these incredibly deep, undeniable ties to corporate recruiters. At the end of the day, it's really about the sheer scale of their innovation output. Now, let's take a look at the giants who have completely mastered this formula, moving to section 3, the unshakable top 3. Let's start right at the top with number 1, MIT. They've had this iron grip on the top spot for decades, and they do it by perfectly balancing theoretical excellence with just massive industrial power. Plus, they have this huge advantage of being situated right in Kendall Square, which is absolutely one of the strongest tech startup ecosystems anywhere in the world. And get this, MIT didn't just win overall, they achieved a literal clean sweep. They grabbed the absolute number 1 spot across 6 distinct major engineering subfields. We're talking everything from aerospace to chemical, mechanical, material science, computer, and electrical engineering. It's just an unparalleled level of across-the-board excellence. Right behind them at number 2, we have Stanford University. Now, while MIT has Kendall Square, Stanford has this incredibly deep, almost unquantifiable connection to Silicon Valley. It boasts a highly collaborative innovation ecosystem, and that geographic and cultural advantage, it gives Stanford a massive, undeniable edge in things like technology entrepreneurship and artificial intelligence development. But honestly, the biggest story of 2026 lies somewhere else entirely. Let's look at section 4, the rise of publics. Let's really look at the shifting scales of today's engineering landscape. On one side, we've got the private elites like Caltech, right? They rely on elite brand prestige, massive endowments, and this small-scale, highly intense doctoral research. But then on the other side, we have the public powerhouses. These state schools leverage massive enrollment to create a true scale-based research system. They're offering deep integration with local industries, incredible return on investment, and much, much lower tuition. And in 2026, you guys, scale is winning. Seriously, just look at the public heavyweights sitting in the top 10. UC Berkeley is the number 1 public school sitting at rank 3, but right behind them, Georgia Tech and Purdue are tied for the number 4 spot nationally. Schools like UIUC, UT Austin, UC San Diego, and the University of Michigan, they are absolutely proving that state-funded, massive-scale engineering programs provide incredible value. Their world-class research output totally rivals any Ivy League institution out there. The University of Michigan, coming in at number 10, perfectly captures this whole momentum. Michigan leans heavily into its regional strengths, deeply integrating with Detroit's automotive industry to become a massive player in robotics and autonomous driving research. Those real-world industry connections, they are a huge reason why they secure and maintain that top-tier status year after year.
Finally, we need to zoom out and look at the broader forces changing the actual value of these degrees. Section 5. Trends shaping the future. According to the data, there are several macro trends that are actively rebuilding the entire engineering landscape in 2026. First off, artificial intelligence is practically swallowing traditional fields. It's not just computer science anymore, it's mechanical engineering plus AI or electrical engineering plus AI. Second, geopolitical factors like the US-China technology competition have spurred initiatives like the CHIPS Act, and that has created a massive, explosive demand for things like material science and semiconductor chip design. And this semiconductor and hardware boom, it's a total game changer. This renaissance in hardware manufacturing specifically elevates the prestige of those heavy-hitting public research schools we talked about. Universities like UIUC, UC Berkeley, Purdue, and Georgia Tech are uniquely positioned here because they have the massive lab infrastructure required to actually train the next generation of semiconductor engineers. All of which brings us to a final, provocative thought I want to leave you with. Does overall prestige matter more than specific industry alignment for your own engineering journey? I mean, if you want to work in startups, Stanford might be your best bet for sure. For automotive, maybe it's Michigan. As we've seen today, that US News overall rank is fascinating to look at, but your specific goals in a rapidly changing tech landscape are what truly define the best school for you. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.